Magnum and Millennium Force at Cedar Point are officially two of America's coolest coasters. Thanks to them, a heightened speed revolution started that hasn't slowed down since. Down south, Travel Channel has found another dynamic duo, the coolest dueling coasters in the land. At Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, the coasters are anything but tame. Two wild beasts that battle it out along the tracks are Gwazi Lion and Gwazi Tiger, Travel Channel's pick for the coolest dueling wooden coasters. The two race side by side and clearly bring out the animal in everyone on board. Gwazi Lion and Gwazi Tiger roar 93 feet above the ground, along nearly 7,000 feet of track. That's longer than 4 Empire State Buildings laid on their sides.
The tracks are actually different layouts, so that when you ride Gwazi Lion, you want to get off and ride Gwazi Tiger.
And we couldn't ignore nearby Kumba. It's our pick for being loaded with the many loops, twists, and turns that ride enthusiasts live for. The Cobra Roll and the Dive Loop are two favorites where the rider actually reverses direction on the way down.
We spent more time designing Kumba than anything we've ever done here at Busch Gardens. What we've always tried to do is to have the best, so that when you come to Busch Gardens and ride Kumba, you'll get off and say, this is the best roller coaster I've ever been on.
A lot of loops, a lot of turns, real sharp turns. It's pretty scary.
I would recommend anybody to come. If you truly enjoy roller coasters, this is the place to be. It's a great ride.
If you're ever going to ride a roller coaster anywhere in the world, you need to come to Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay, because you'll get on the world's best here.
Being at Busch Gardens, Tampa may feel like all play. But believe it or not, there's a lot of hard science behind these wild rides. The Montu's the perfect pick to learn a little about the physics behind all the fun. The Montu gives riders the ultimate rush. It's an inverted roller coaster, so it feels like you're soaring. Here at the Montu, Dr. David Wright, physics professor at Tidewater Community College in Norfolk, Virginia, offered to teach us the physics of roller coasters using the same techniques from his longtime show at Busch Gardens.
Albert Einstein enjoyed roller coasters because the experience of the physics that was involved. I feel great to be in his company because I love roller coasters too. What a way to experience physics, to really feel the physics, to be part of the experiment, not just to talk about it. It's wonderful.
Understanding the physics of roller coasters doesn't have to be like deciphering hieroglyphics.
First, we have to define some terms. The first is velocity. Velocity tells how fast something's going and in what direction. For example, 5 miles per hour, down.
Or in the case of the Montu,
60.1 miles an hour. Acceleration. It tells us how quickly the velocity is changing. It can be a change in speed or a change in direction. The principle of inertia tells us that objects at rest remain at rest and objects in motion remain in motion. This means that once an object has started to move, it maintains a straight line, constant speed motion until some force acts upon it. The principle of action and reaction, also called Newton's third law, tells us for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. That means you can't push without being pushed. On a roller coaster, the real thrill comes from acceleration. When you change speed or change direction, that's an acceleration. You can feel it. Your body's a human accelerometer. At the bottom of the hills here on the Montu, you'll feel 3 or 3.5 Gs, or 4 times heavier than normal as you accelerate.
now it's time to put theory into practice.
Gravity does all the work in the course of the ride. Once you get to the peak, as much as they're ever going to get. And down they're going to come the hill, ready to pick up 60 miles per hour at the bottom of the hill, and here they come. The adrenaline is rushing, the wind is in their face, 60 miles an hour right there, up to the top now, 1 G at the top, but they're not falling out. Come underneath this, right over here, into the Evelyn. Look at that, way up top, about 0.2 Gs, and then back this way, into the 0 G roll. Look at seconds at a time. Going to the bat wing. The bat wing to be thrown upside down twice. They're going to pull 4 G's in the bottom right here. Ooh, they're going to feel heavy. Here they go into the brake block. They're going to feel normal for about a second or two. And then finally, picking up speed again as they lose potential energy and gain kinetic energy into the second vertical loop. 1.2 G's up top. They don't fall out. In the speed spiral. The banking there is great. They're banked at such an angle they don't feel thrown to the left or thrown to the right. They feel pressed into their seats. And finally over here, into the flat spin. Upside down for the 7th time. And back into the station. With their hearts pumping, having experienced the thrill of physics.
Without physics behind them, America's coolest coasters clearly wouldn't make the grade. Since the beginning of coaster history, the laws of physics were no doubt vital. The first American coaster was more like a runaway train. The Mach Chunk Switchback Railway was a mine train used to haul coal through the mountains of Pennsylvania. Mules pulled the cars to the top of the hill. The ride back down was a speedy 6 miles per hour. How did the mules make it to the bottom? Squeezed in, right alongside the human passengers.